welcome to the Hammer Away Show. I am your host, Cynthia W. Hammer. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern. We are on LA Talk Radio, Spotify, Spreaker, Mix Station Baltimore, iHeartRadio, Hammer Media on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, so about, 2 weeks ago, I interviewed the producer and composer, Mr. Bill Pettaway, and we did him in a 3-part series. And so the first part was The Bounteous Heart of Geneva Randolph. And so I got tons of email and text messages, and people messaged me on Facebook and on my Instagram page. And they thought, I thought after all the questions, one of the questions was like, who is she? Does she do music? And I don't really have these answers. I don't want to make anything up. So I tracked Geneva down, and we talked for a few weeks. And then I finally, she opened her schedule up and made way for me to have her guest on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Hammer Away Show, Miss Geneva Randolph. Hello.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. I was trying to play a song that you wrote for my intro, and I have so much music from you because you do so much, but I have to play this song because it is so good. So just amuse me just for... Geneva, thank you.
Thank you. I have to thank your husband, Steve Hammer, for drums, for Bill Pettaway for guitar, and Miss Hammer for bringing the mix all together. It was amazing.
Miss Poppins, right?
Yes, Miss Poppins.
Yes, Miss Poppins. Let me tell you, that song, Geneva, I have played day in and day out when I go to the grocery store. It takes me to the grocery store. It takes me on errands. It takes me back home. I can't thank you enough. And for those who haven't caught on, Geneva Randolph has written an instrumental introduction to the Hammer Away Show and has been kind enough to allow me to put it on the show, to use the show. She's written this specifically for me. And just the song is so good.
Thank you.
Yes, and if you want to, I can ask you later on in the show what inspired you. But if you have that thought on the top of your head, you can share it with us if you'd like.
I wanted to, in the moment, I just wanted to create the beginning, the genesis, the freshness, the newness, starting all over again. That is what I was feeling in the moment. So I tried to bring that out through the music.
You did, because I was so excited. I didn't even mention the title. Yes, everyone, the title's called Genesis. And I thought about it when I heard it. I was like, I wonder what I should name the song. And Steve said, it's called Genesis. My husband said, it's called Genesis. And I said, you know what? That's a really good title, because the song's like a nature. You feel free, you're gliding through life, not a care in the world. And then if you have any woes or cares, it feels like it can carry you through.
Yes.
the way Barry White's song Love Unlimited, I can listen to that song over and over again, and each time it's anew, and
Exactly.
that's what, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's dive in. Where are you from, Geneva?
I am originally from Woodstock, Virginia. It's in the Shenandoah Valley. It's a great place to grow up. I was born and raised there. We ate from the farms. It was a very close-knit community. We all pretty much went to the same church and school. Virginia, that area of Virginia is the 6th largest apple producing state. So we had a lot of applesauce, apple butter. We ate from the farms, corn, cucumbers, tomatoes. It was just a great way of life.
Wow, and that'll keep you young for many years to come. We had a lot of fresh vegetables. It's just what you did. I used to hate having to weed the garden though, but now I appreciate it because, the skills that our parents taught us how to basically take care of ourselves. And, my dad says I'm a better plant grower than I am a better food grower. Like he says, oh, you can garden plants, but can you garden food? That's his joke. I'm like, I'm trying. I mean, he says, well, you should never start from the seed. You should know better. I'm like, well, now you tell me 40 years later that I should buy the plant. I use seeds, and I get some vegetation from it, but not, I don't know if I'm using the right word, but not all. So what did you do for fun out in the rural area?
To be very honest, at that time, there wasn't a whole lot. We used to, whenever we heard the siren go off, we would chase the fire truck. That was exciting to us at that time. So whenever there was a fire, we wanted to know where it was going. So we would chase the fire truck. My brother loved to do that. And he was pretty much the only one that could keep up. And we would wait in anticipation for him to come home to find out where was the fire. That was the thing. Where was the fire? We used to catch lightning bugs. We called them lightning bugs. I don't know what they're actually called, in a jar, and watch them light up at night. This was fun to us. This is what we enjoyed at that time.
Wow. Well, yeah, we called them lightning bugs until I met some other kids and they said they're fireflies. I said, well, what's a firefly? Oh, they're lightning bugs. That's what we call them, lightning bugs. But how that, obviously you're a country girl.
Yes.
The country and proud, me too. But the fact that you guys chased the fire truck, y'all must be pretty damn fast.
Yes.
How do you chase a fire truck and run it out of sight?
I couldn't really keep up, and my brother was the best at it. He eventually became a firefighter, and he went on in other areas of law enforcement. But yes, this was exciting to us. This was the most exciting thing.
It is exciting. That's the good old-fashioned fun. We used to sit on the back of the pickup truck in my dad's yard, and the next car coming by, whoever could guess the color, this is how country we were. Black road, there's nothing around, and it actually, when they say it was a good time back then because things were a little simpler, you left your door unlocked. Yeah, I enjoyed, we did create a lot of games, but we'd sit on the back of the pickup truck, and guess what car went by? My older brother and my younger sibling. There's 6 of us. Mm-hmm. But one of the things, it would have been funny if our families met each other, because you guys are I don't know, the corn. It could be the cornfields versus the watermelons, because we were so country that on our picnics, we have a watermelon toss. Now, I know what this sounds like, but do you know how you do like shot put?
Yes.
When we finished our watermelon, we'd run, and who could throw it the furthest? Because you didn't throw watermelon in the trash can, you threw it in the woods.
Yes.
You're done with it, you just toss it in the woods. So one day we were just tossing our watermelon in the woods, and I'm gonna get a lot of emails. It's gonna be either good or people are like, you're a real country. But we would see who could throw the watermelon the furthest. So I wonder if our families ever met, if we were kids, who would win on that foot race. But I think you guys would have us for sure.
I don't know about that.
You can chase a fire truck. Good Lord, you must have been real fast. Come on. Because when you think about it, that's good practice. Like,
it is.
You have to be quick. Think about how fast you got over time. I think that is so cool to be so young and free, the time you could walk barefoot.
Yes, it was a time of innocence. It was there was no crime. It was just a great place to grow up.
Yes,
We would
yes.
literally skip rocks on the water for fun, and it was a great time. It was so innocent.
Well, it resonates in your personality. So I didn't get to your proper introduction. Geneva has worked in upper management in a lot of industries, and you have also been an executive in acquisitions. I understand, let me see what I have. I understand that you have worked for various musicians or celebrities in the business. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. I created my first invoice in the music industry in 2001. It wasn't planned. Someone needed an invoice at the last minute. And that's when the whole thing started. I grew and I learned in the industry. And over time, I had the opportunity to work with P. Diddy, Jamie Foxx, Black Eyed Peas, Jennifer Lopez. I got to work with LL Cool J, Alicia Keys. So these were great experiences for me. It was amazing for me coming from Virginia to have the people that so many people that I admire, I had the opportunity to meet, and it was amazing. I had the opportunity to meet Nelly Furtado, Missy Elliott, P.D. Pablo, Justin Timberlake. There were a lot of amazing artists that I had the opportunity to meet and work with.
Wow. So who was your favorite out of meeting all these people?
I have to say Missy Elliott, because she is so warm and so genuine, has a beautiful smile, and everything that you see on the screen is actually who she is. She's just the sweetest person.
Did you get to see her perform by chance?
Yes, I did once see her perform.
What?
And the reaction, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the reaction of the crowd. Naturally, we're looking at the stage thinking that she's going to come on the stage, and she came through the crowd, and to see the reaction of the fans was amazing. I didn't know what happened. It was so loud, and I turned around and realized it was her coming through the crowd, and then she went up on the stage. It was amazing. It gives me chills thinking about it right now. It was awesome.
Wow. So what was your title working for the celebrities? What was your title?
I first was, like I said, was just doing invoices, and then eventually I grew. My job description grew. I became production coordinator, which included scheduling, budgets, billing, organizing, problem solving. You have to understand time management. You have to be able to multitask. Time is money, transportation, everything. So it's a wide range.
Okay, so for the geek, because what I like about the business, in any business, there's always the people behind the business. We see the person on stage performing, but there's people behind that make that possible. So when you say production coordinator, you mean like in charge of the production of getting the finances straightened out so they can move about?
Yes, budgets, tech writers, it includes all of that.
Wow.
You could be asked at any point in time to do that. And like I said, you need to have time management skills, and you need to be able to multitask. Time is important.
So if you were to try to if an artist was to get paid, would that system come through your desk?
Well, it's ultimately submitted to the label, but you need to provide an invoice and the proper backup for that invoice. So in other words, you need to prove that you were there. If, for example, you had to purchase something, you need to show a receipt, present a receipt, and submit that to the label as well to be reimbursed.
So say, for instance, we had 5 microphones and we only submitted, we're charging for 5, we only submitted 4, and we forgot the extension cord. Does all that need to be shown receipts for?
You need to provide backup for everything.
Wow.
Yes.
That's right down to the penny.
Everything, yes.
Wow, that's very exciting. That's very fascinating. So who did you enjoy meeting the most? You said it was Missy Elliott. Is there anyone else that you can think of?
Timberland is a wonderful, innovative, very, 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 very intelligent, and very smart individual. And that's somebody that I met as well. And you can understand why he is where he is in the industry today.
You mean Timberland, right? Timberland. The gentleman that owns, he owns Versus, right? Did he create Versus?
Yes.
The creator.
Yes, I understand that he's one of the creators of.
Wow, that's pretty big. Yeah, he's iconic. He's really done good for himself. So kudos to him.
Yeah.
Right? Shout out to Timberland.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So moving on, I would like to know, because you do music. Who's your favorite artist?
Oh, wow, I have so many. I'll just name the top. I would have to say Rance Allen. He has a song called Miracle Worker that I absolutely love. I understand he's no longer with us. I love him. Something About the Name of Jesus, that's one of his songs. I love Whitney Houston. I love Julie Caesar. I love Walter Hawkins, Going Up Yonder. I can't name
I love that.
That song.
Going Up Yonder, right?
Yes.
Oh,
and then, the late Reverend James Cleveland, that was always playing in our house as children. We always heard that song, and oh wow, it takes me back when I think about it. And then of course I cannot leave off Michael Jackson and Prince.
Oh, of course. Of course. Well, speaking of Prince, I said since you love music and do music, but I don't know if the audience knows it. Geneva is not only brilliant with the books in management, but she also she writes, produces. Well, obviously you know that because you saw the beginning of the show. I played the intro. Okay, so for people watching, she's a producer and writer of music, and she also plays music, and a lot of music. So let's start with, you sent me several songs that you have written, so I picked out a few. I'm going to play questions because since you brought up Prince, it has a Prince flavor. Can you tell me about it?
Yes, I was trying to, now listen, let me just say that I know that I cannot write or produce anything that even comes close to this brilliant, amazing human being. I just have to say that first off. And then also, the purpose of this was to write a tribute to him on his birthday because I love Prince on June 7th. And I look at Prince and always have looked at him as a prodigy. He is unusually exceptional when it comes to music. He is out of the ordinary. And I just loved his falsetto, his high-pitched screams. I just wanted to celebrate his legacy. And so I wrote questions because that's what I was feeling in the moment about Prince on his birthday.
Okay, so without further ado, let's hear questions. This is questions by Geneva Randolph. The word we used to say when we were kids, that was tight. Do they still say that was tight? Yeah. That was good. I love it.
I tried.
I love it. And it does sound like Prince. It has that, where he goes, baby. I'm not even going to, I can't even do it. I won't even go there. But you know how Prince do. He just takes you out there. I've been to a few of his shows and they just go crazy. But he had energy and he would put on a heck of a show. And if I had known then that he would actually let everyone on stage, because I've seen him a couple times, but the last time I saw him, he was pulling people up on stage left and right, and they knew to line up, and he was calling them up. I would have made my way down, but I had like nosebleed seats. One time I had good seats, but I didn't know enough about going to shows. I was young when I saw Prince. I saw Prince in the, when Not the Dove Cry tour, but when he did that Purple Rain.
Yes.
I was a kid. I'd never been to a concert, all these people screaming, going, I didn't know I was in the middle of greatness, you know, because I was a kid, you know, like 16, 17, what do I know about a concert? You know what I mean? I didn't know. Yes. Country girl out, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know what's supposed to be happening here, but when I seen them again, everyone made their way to the stage, and all kinds of people were on the stage. They got a chance to come up and sing in the microphone, like most people know that Prince does this. He sings in the microphone, and if you mess up, he says, "You don't know my words. Get off my stage," and down you have to go, because they just want to meet him. But somebody would grab that mic and know every single word, like and the crowd would go crazy because they were true. I mean, we all love him, but you know, to beat your way through a crowd, I guess that's the big fan, you know, the crazy fan. No, we're all fans, but the crazy ones, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean? That rip. Well, I would rip a piece of his sleeve off if I could get away with it, or pull a piece of his hair out and eat it. No.
Oh my God.
Anything, just give me anything, Prince, right?
No, oh my goodness. It was amazing.
Oh my goodness. So let's see. You have another song that I thought was awesome. It is called Work It Out. And while I search my files, could you please set us up for Work It Out?
Work It Out was, I wrote that during mine. I recall.
Okay, Geneva, I think we're frozen again. Help me out, sister.
Refrigerated truck. Okay. We are frozen.
You're good. You're perfect now. We are back. Oh,
it says on.
You're frozen again.
Okay.
Help me out.
Oh no.
That's okay. Fix it.
Okay,
just fix it.
I'm staying still.
You look good. You look good.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, am I good? Okay.
Tell me about Work It Out.
Okay, yes, Work It Out was written during the quarantine. I recall watching CNN and seeing refrigerated trucks as makeshift morgues at the height of the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. And I saw families saying goodbye over FaceTime. And I, to be honest, had an overwhelming, like many others, feeling of sadness and isolation. And there were a lot of things going on at that time with, and still are, with politics and law enforcement. There was just so much at that time. And that's where Work It Out came from. I just felt like, wow, we really need to work out these issues. There are so many things happening at the same time. So that's how I came up with Work It Out.
Oh, wow.
It was hope for the future. It was, I was just thinking hope for the future.
Wow, that's deep. You know, and I felt that it resonated. It came from somewhere. It's so good. I'm gonna let the music speak for itself. People are like, Cynthia, shut up and just play it. That is good. That's my part right there.
Oh,
Right? Is it good or what?
Thank you.
It is good. It is good. So you know what? I'm thinking, how cool is it that I'm listening to your music on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon? It doesn't matter. I can listen to your music, but I know you. You're on the show and you're on my show. God is good.
Yes, he is. And I am beyond grateful for the opportunity and for you taking the time to have me on your platform. I'm amazed. I'm grateful. I just want you to know that. I really, truly am. Genuinely.
I believe you. I know that, sister, and back at you. But you know, we support each other. We ride with each other. You know, we have the same peeps. So I appreciate you. But you know, I was sitting here, that music takes me places and it makes me filled with gratitude. And I'm looking at you, I'm like, and she's right here. How good is God?
Yes.
That I not only get the generosity of having your music, but I get to talk to you. That's like little girls' dreams coming true. We're women now, but you know, I dreamed big as a kid. This is the life I'd hoped for.
Me too.
You know?
Yes.
So, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna let the audience, we're gonna keep popping your collar. So we listen to questions and work it out. What people need to know as well, and many people do know, but let the audience know, for those who don't know, that you actually play music now. Did you play any instruments on the intro for Genesis?
For the intro for Genesis, I used virtual instruments. I used a DAW, which stands for Digital Audio Workstation. I used Ableton Live 10. So that was what was used for that particular project. I use normally in music my modular instruments, which are usually the Buchla 208C and the ARP 2600 clone, which is the TTSH. So I use most electronic instruments most of the time.
So, okay, Miss Fancy, are you telling me, for those who don't know, I'm like, well, what did she just say? Okay, I know that, is that, are those keyboards or are they?
Well, they're electronic instruments, and I'll show you my Buchla 208C. I have it here in front of me.
Oh, sweet.
This is what it looks like. These are banana jack cables, and these are shorting bars.
Wow.
That.
And you can play that?
Yes, they consist of, electronic instruments consist of envelope generators, oscillators, filters, voltage control, amplifiers, analog sequencers sometimes. So you have the ability, with these instruments, you have the ability to make sound that no one has ever made before. And that's what's exciting about electronic instruments.
Genius.
It changes the way you view music production.
There's that brown power again.
Yeah.
Genius. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so it's so much fun.
Wow. So I know that I got a video from Mr. Pettaway, you at a show playing. What were you playing at that show? What were you playing at that show?
Yes, I was playing at a show in Wynwood here in Florida. So yes, we usually play sometimes on Wednesday nights here, and we just freestyle with our modular equipment, and it's so much fun.
So that was
there are no rules. You can just let it go.
Wow. So for some reason, I guess I need to put it in our chat. Your audio, you're good?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You good?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
That's gonna be the show. You good? I'm good. You good? I'm good. Are you good? I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm great.
Look, modern technology, you can't make it up. It is not our fault, people. You know, we just look good. Okay?
No.
Geneva has proved her genius.
Exactly.
All right? So, you know, okay, you have proved your genius. Because when he sent me the video, you were working on, was that the modular, you're saying?
Yes, that was the Buchla, the one that I just showed you. Yes.
It's called the what? The Booster?
The Buchla.
The Buchla.
Yes, Buchla 208C.
Man, wow. Because you can make it talk, right?
Yes, it's amazing the things that you could do.
And you cannot make the same sound twice.
Exactly.
That
which
has
is
to
why
be.
I'm always recording. I always keep it recording because you never know what's going to come out.
Oh, wow. I didn't think of that. But that has to be some type of high. It has to feel good to create. Create, right?
Yes. Oh, it's so exciting. It's a wonderful thing to be able to put your feelings to music, to be able to express yourself through music. And if you think about it in history, that's how you came up with the Sam Cooke, Change is Gonna Come. Um, wow, there are so many songs
Aretha
that were written
Franklin,
from.
James Brown, all of
Yes,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
yes.
Yeah. I know you have a lot of history in music, but I heard you mention earlier in the show some gospel greats. So I take it you're a young lady that loves the Lord.
Oh, yes. Yes, first and foremost, I grew up in the church singing in the choir, and God is first in my life always. Always.
Yes.
I can't do
Amen.
anything. I don't want to try to do anything without him, putting him first.
No, no, you don't.
And,
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Frozen in time. So, Geneva, can you hear me?
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you now.
I don't know if it's your end or mine. I think it's storming where we are. And look, I told my husband, now I'm gonna make everybody laugh. I said to my husband, hun, don't call me, I'm working. What do? He calls me anyway. I love him, but you can't make it up. You just can't. So I hate to hang up on him. But okay, so I'm gonna segue. For some reason, Miss Randolph, I'm gonna segue to some commercial. So everyone who just tuned in, you are watching the Hammer Away Show. Follow Cynthia W. Hammer on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please pick up a copy of Iceberg, A Good Case, and The Seven Rivers on Author House, Barnes & Noble, and Amazon. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific and 5 p.m. Eastern. You are watching the Hammer Away Show with today's guest, Geneva Randolph. Welcome back, Miss G.
Thank you.
Do they call you Gigi by chance?
Yes, everybody calls me Gigi.
I love Gigi. That's a good
you.
name. It's perfect. You look like a Gigi, actually. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's a compliment. So, we were talking about God. When I'm backed into a corner, one of my favorite scriptures is "As great as thy days, so is thy strength." To fight off anything that's coming my way. What's your favorite scripture?
My favorite, Cynthia, is "Get thee behind me, Satan."
Devil is a lie.
Yes, he is.
And who was that? Who was he talking to when he said, "Get thee behind me, Satan"?
It was Peter. It was
Peter. Was it Judas? Was it Judas or Peter? Peter?
I thought it was Peter.
Okay, it's Peter. For all the Bible people, text me. Let us know. So the Bible people gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get like 100. It was Peter. Damn, read your Bible. Oh, you can't cuss. Can't cuss in the. Anyway, let's segue on to. Oh, you know what? I have to, before you go. This is very important. Most of the emails that came in, people wanted to hear your side of the story. So I do have to segue. I know it's a turn, but we were on Jesus, so let's just slightly turn towards your kind heart. I think that's perfect.
Thank you.
When Bill was in the fight for his life, Bill Pettaway, you were the lady that showed up and showed out and suited up to help him. Can you tell us from your words, what was that time like for you, and what did you go through? Let's just hear your side.
Okay. I, of course, was living in Florida, and Bill at the time was living in Maryland. He sent me a text that said he was no longer in remission, that his cancer had returned. Of course, it was devastating. I asked him immediately when was his next doctor's appointment. I booked a ticket and flew to Florida to attend that doctor's appointment with him, to find out the facts, to find out what treatment he was on, what were the things that we needed to address immediately, and how to get things in order. After speaking with his doctor, he informed me that Bill could not continue on the chemo that he was on, that he definitely needed a transplant, and that we needed to get him on the list for a transplant. They also informed me that someone needed to be with him 24 hours, 24/7. And of course, I lived in Florida, so that's when I decided that I needed to move to Maryland. Bill is a 5-time cancer survivor. So we had been through this 4 times before, but he was lucky enough to be treated in Florida. So he stayed, I was able to care for him here. But due to a change in his insurance, he had to stay in Maryland. So I had to go to Maryland. So I resigned from my job and moved to Maryland. And that's when the process began.
Wow. So can you tell us about, I think you mentioned to me a while back when I talked to you on the phone, something about Hope Lodge or
Yes. So we had to, we were informed that, I was informed by the doctors that Bill needed to be near the facility as it got closer. We used to commute back and forth from the place that he was living to Johns Hopkins, which was the place that was treating him and that was going to have to do the transplant. We used to commute on a daily basis every day for chemo, for checkups, for blood draws, for all the different processes that had to take place to take care of Bill. So this was a daily thing, but as it got closer to the transplant, they told us we needed to be in the immediate area. So I had to find housing for us. So the hospital informed me of a place called Hope Lodge. It's a wonderful place. It's sponsored by the American Cancer Society. It's a place of understanding and comfort for patients who are actively being treated for cancer, and it's close to cancer treatment centers in the area. So they were wonderful to us. We had to get on a waiting list. I was very, very worried because, it took a while, but finally we got the call that we could come to the Hope Lodge, and we were able to stay there during most of the time of his transplant. And so it was definitely a time of prayer, deep, deep, deep prayer.
So
he went through a lot, and I was just there to facilitate and help in any way that I could, but he went through a lot.
Well, you became his nurse, basically. Like you oversaw, I think Bill mentioned on the show, you were his advocate to see that his care was well managed correctly.
Absolutely, yes. They taught me how to flush the port in his chest. He had a tube, so we had to flush that with HEPA filter. They taught me how to change the caps, how to change the dressing, how to disinfect. All of this has to be done to prevent bleeding and infection. Now, I'm not a medical professional, but this is what they taught me. So I learned everything that I could learn to help because I saw the suffering and I knew what he was going through. I mean, I've never been in that position, but I know who Bill is, I believe, and he was really suffering. But through all of that, he kept a smile and an upbeat attitude the best he could. I saw his weight plummet. I saw so many things, but he always looked to God and he always prayed. And it was a tough time. I think probably the most difficult time was during the process of looking for a donor. We were told on several occasions that they had found a donor. And it was an absolute roller coaster ride. We were excited, and then we would find out that the donor backed out at the last minute. And that was so hard. I mean, from what we were told, the bone marrow donations it's a surgical procedure that has to take place in the hospital. So there's a commitment involved. So we were told that sometimes people back out because they, are under the impression that they can just donate blood and leave. And it's not, it's a little bit more involved. So that was very difficult. And every time someone went back out, I just told Bill, we have to keep going. It's going to be okay. And we kept going, we kept pushing. And I'm grateful to God for giving us the strength to do that.
Well, thank God Mr. Pettaway is in remission.
Yes, he is, and doing very well.
Yes. So I know that one of the questions that was asked was, who did you lean on, and what was your breaking point? Because we all have one. We all have one. So was there a time that you felt like, God dang it, I just can't do this no more? Like, you know, not that you given up on him, but it was a lot on you. It was a lot.
Yes, I would probably have to say the times where I felt like I was filled up, just it was tough. And I felt more for him,
Of
but
course.
yes, for what he was going through. And I just felt like I have to come through no matter what. I think probably one of the hardest times is when we were in Hope Lodge. And let me just first say they were wonderful to us. They have wonderful volunteers. They did their very best, as they do with everyone that I saw there. They were wonderful people. But at a point, we were informed that we had to find another place because there was going to be construction next door. And I'm not sure if you're aware that transplant patients can be around dust and debris.
Right.
So we had to move for that reason. So that was very challenging. I didn't expect that. And that was, this was right after his transplant. It's very sensitive, and, he has no immune system. So I'm nervous with everything. And so that was a challenge. That was tough. But I understood why they made the decision that they had to make. And then the other thing was, the other time that I can think of is that morning when we were moving. We were told at the new place that we were moving that check-in time was 12 noon. But I was nervous because I knew everyone would be leaving at the same time. So I said, I need to get a jump on this. Bill was still asleep. It's dark. I think it was like 5 a.m. So I started packing up his car. At that time, I think he had a little Fiat. So I'm packing up the car with blankets, our winter coats, boxes, medication, everything to go from Hope Lodge to the next facility. Bill's still asleep, so I try to do all this while he's sleeping. I go in and I wake him up. Even though I knew I had been informed that check-in time was 12 noon, I left early because I felt I'm not very good with directions, and I don't really know my way around Baltimore very well. So I thought, let me get started early, and hope and pray that they'll have the next place ready for us, even though we're coming early. I packed up the car. I got him in the car. He's very weak. He's lost a lot of weight. The car is jam-packed. I close the door. I get in the driver's side. We're driving through Baltimore to the next facility. I turn the corner, and mind you, it's still dark, and the door flies open. Apparently, I didn't close it tight enough.
Oh,
and I can't tell you how angry I was with myself to make such a simple mistake, not realizing that I didn't close the door all the way. It was a horrible feeling because, sorry.
It's okay. Take a deep breath. Well, the door flies open. And
Bill was small, and he had lost a lot of weight, so he didn't have the strength to
pull it closed.
Yeah, so
did you have to pull over?
Yeah, I pulled over and slammed the door shut. But that was just, I had so much on me, and in the moment, all I could think was that I have to get us to the next facility.
Yeah.
I need to, I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect that we would have to move, and I was trying to be proactive, but I made a big mistake.
Well, it's one of those things where it's the straw that broke the camel's back. It's all you could take. All I need to do is sprinkle a little bit of pepper on your heap that you already had, and it would have been too much weight.
Yeah.
It was just too much weight. You were carrying too much weight, and just that little thing was it. That was it. Just tilted it.
Yes.
Yeah. But you made it through.
Yes, we made it.
So you got to the facility, and you made it there. Thank you, Jesus. And thank you for sharing that, because people were wondering. I said, well, I do know little bits and pieces, and I did listen to Bill very well, but it's good to hear it from the person who actually helped him hold on. And God is so good. You're an angel.
It's amazing. No, I'm not an angel. I just thank God for giving me the strength, the ability, and just for watching over us, because it was a very scary time.
Yes. So let's try to get you to your lovely a place of something you enjoy. So I like to ride my bike and take long walks. What calms you?
This sounds strange, but I love the moon. I love moonlight.
You're romantic. Do you like romantic novels as well?
I can't even explain, but I love to just sit and watch the moonlight.
The moonlight. Love it. Well, you have a heck of a view. I think it overlooks the ocean, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it would be pretty nice when the moon comes in, especially on the East Coast. It shines in and it takes up the whole entire house.
Yes.
And I used to go outside and sit in my backyard, but where I'm at, the mosquitoes have teeth. You know what I mean? They bite the heck out of you. They got teeth. I told my mom, I said, damn, you never told me. I mean, if I come to the East Coast, the mosquitoes got teeth. It's a whole different, it's a whole nother smoke with these mosquitoes. And I'm an environmentalist, so I try not to put a lot of spray down, but I had to this year, for sure, you know.
Yes.
You know, but, so I, of course, enjoy the moonlight inside, but the moon is absolutely beautiful. So that tells me you're very in tune with your spirit.
Yes, yes. And that's the best time to write music.
Come on now, sister. The creative Brown. Yes, I do write. I get up. Yes. That is a good time. So you get up and you grab your modular, or are you grabbing pencil and pen? Pencil and pen. Grab pencil and pen, paper and pen.
I'm always recording.
Okay. So you used to start playing and record it?
Yes.
Awesome.
You don't know what you're gonna get.
Okay, sister. Okay, so take us out on the last word. Let me think of a good question. If you wanted to say something, excuse me, to the world where we are right now, what would you say?
Cynthia, to be honest, with everything that I've seen, I've experienced at this time in my life, I would say definitely treat people the way you would want them to treat you.
Amen to that. I'm going to give you the last word. You had the last word. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to the Hammer Way Show. Thank you, Geneva Randolph, for guesting.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And everyone, remember to keep God first. We are going to go out with Genesis, written and produced by Geneva Randolph, Bill Pettaway on guitar, and Steve Hammer on the drums.